I stayed at the Timhotel Paris Gare Montparnasse recently, and I'm going to give my honest thoughts about it. For the best price for this hotel, check out the links in the description. Arrival and check-in experience. When we arrived at Timhotel Paris Gare Montparnasse, the location couldn't have been more perfect, right at the foot of the Montparnasse Tower. Checking in was straightforward thanks to the 24-hour front desk. Despite the late hour, the staff was welcoming, although the receptionist seemed a bit moody. We had a bit of a hiccup when we were initially given a room that hadn't been cleaned, but the staff quickly sorted it out and moved us to a clean room, which was much appreciated after a long journey. Room, bathroom, and amenities. The room at Timhotel Paris Gare Montparnasse was cozy, but definitely on the smaller side, which is pretty typical for Paris. The bathroom was super tiny, like I had to maneuver a bit just to get in the shower without bumping into the wall. But hey, it had everything I needed, and the bed was really comfy, so I can't complain too much. Location and surroundings. The location of the Timhotel Paris Gare Montparnasse is seriously unbeatable. It's just a short stroll from the Montparnasse train station, which made catching my train to Lourdes super easy. Plus, I love that I could walk to the Latin Quarter, Luxembourg Gardens, and a bunch of great restaurants nearby. It felt like I was right in the heart of the action while still having a cozy spot to crash after a day of exploring. Food, drinks, and dining options. When it comes to food at the Timhotel Paris Gare Montparnasse, I have to say, it was quite a nice surprise. Each morning, I enjoyed a buffet breakfast that had a solid variety of options. The pastries were definitely a highlight, flaky and fresh, just how I like them. They also offered the usual suspects like eggs, bacon, and a selection of jams, which made for a hearty start to my day. I appreciated that breakfast was served early enough to fuel my adventures around Paris. Sure, it wasn't the most extravagant spread, but for the price, it was pretty decent. Plus, the staff at breakfast were friendly and attentive, which added to the overall positive vibe. Just a heads up though, it's in a different building, so you have to walk a bit, but it's totally worth it. What's it like to stay here? Staying here is like finding a cozy little nook in the heart of Paris. The location is unbeatable, just a stone's throw from the Montparnasse train station, which made it super easy for me to hop on and off for day trips. The vibe of the area is lively, with plenty of restaurants and shops around, so I never felt bored. My room was on the smaller side, which is pretty typical for Paris, but it had everything I needed, including a comfy bed that made crashing after a long day of sightseeing a total dream. The breakfast was a nice touch, even if it was in a different building, and I enjoyed the fresh pastries each morning. The staff were friendly and quick to help with any questions I had. I did notice the elevator was a bit cramped, but honestly, it just added to the charm of the place. Overall, it was a solid base for my Paris adventure, and I definitely recommend it for anyone looking for a budget-friendly stay without sacrificing comfort or location. Let's take a look at the pros and cons. Here's what I liked about the hotel. Great location. I loved how close the hotel was to Gare Montparnasse. It made traveling around Paris super convenient, especially after a long day of sightseeing. Comfortable beds. The beds were really comfy. After a day of exploring, it felt amazing to crash into a cozy bed and get a good night's sleep. Friendly staff. The staff were genuinely helpful and kind. They made my stay more enjoyable by answering questions and accommodating requests, like switching my room when there was an issue. Clean rooms. I was impressed with how clean everything was. The housekeeping did a great job, and it felt nice to come back to a tidy room each day. Here's what I disliked about the hotel. Small rooms. The room I stayed in was pretty small, which made it a bit cramped, especially with my luggage. But hey, it's Paris, so I guess that's kind of expected. My overall rating for this hotel would be 7.9. So, would I stay here again? Honestly, I think I would. The location was a total win, being just a hop away from Gare Montparnasse, which made my travels around Paris super easy. Sure, the rooms were a bit snug and the shower situation was tight, but for a quick trip where I just needed a comfy bed and a good breakfast to fuel my adventures, it worked perfectly. Plus, the staff were friendly and helpful, which always makes a stay more enjoyable. Thanks for watching. I added links from all hotel booking providers in the description, so you can find the best price for this hotel. Make sure you check out the description below.